Stanley Aldridge and Ernest Eric Jenkins were two young men from Charlton, London, who grew up side by side as close friends. They lived near each other in Heathwood Gardens and went to the same school, sharing their early years with a group of local boys who spent time together in their neighbourhood. As they grew older, both joined the Air Training Corps, becoming members of 56 Woolwich Squadron ATC. It was here that their interest in aviation began, setting them on the path that would eventually lead them into service during the Second World War. Ernest Eric Jenkins, known to those close to him as Ginger or Ginge, was the son of Eric George and Rhoda Dorothy Jenkins. After his time in the Air Training Corps, he volunteered for the Royal Air Force and trained as an air gunner. He went on to serve with 626 Squadron in the Royal Air Force Volunteer Reserve, becoming a flight sergeant. By 1945, he had already completed many dangerous operations and had become part of the Bomber Command's efforts against enemy targets. On the night of 18th of February 1945, during his 20th operation, Ernest and his crew took part in a mine-laying mission off the coast near Heligoland. During the mission, the aircraft encountered enemy opposition and heavy danger over the target area. The aircraft was last seen flying towards Heligoland before disappearing completely. No further contact was received from the crew, and Ernest was officially reported missing before later being confirmed dead. He was only 20 years old. His loss was deeply felt by those who knew him, especially by his close friend Stanley.
Stanley Aldridge followed a similar path. Also a member of the 56 Woolwich Squadron ATC, he volunteered for the Royal Air Force in March 1944 and began training for aircrew duties. He spent months training in Canada as part of a wartime Commonwealth Air Training Plan preparing for operational service overseas. In a letter written in March 1945, Stanley spoke of a shock he felt on hearing that Ernest was missing, describing it as a devastating blow and expressing hope that his friend might still be safe. Tragically, only a short time later, Stanley himself would also be lost. On the 1st of June, while taking part in a training flight over remote and difficult terrain in Canada, Stanley's aircraft crashed during the exercise. Because of the inaccessible location and conditions, he was at first reported missing while search efforts took place. His family waited anxiously for news before later receiving confirmation that he had died in the crash. Like Ernest, Stanley lost his life before ever reaching the age many of us are today. The impact of the deaths were not only felt on operation or overseas, but also at home with the families and community in Charlton. Official letters from the Air Ministry were sent to Stanley's family explaining the circumstances surrounding his loss and arrangements that followed. Like many families during the war, they had to endure the pain of receiving formal letters instead of final goodbyes. In recognition of his service, Stanley was awarded campaign medals for his contribution to war efforts. These medals, later presented to his family after the war, became a lasting reminder of his courage, dedication and sacrifice. Honours he never had the opportunity to receive himself. The story of Stanley Aldridge and Ernest Eric Jenkins is one of friendship, service and sacrifice. They grew up together, trained together as cadets in the 56 Woolwich Squadron Air Training Corps, and both chose to serve their country in its time of need. Their lives, like so many others of their generation, were cut tragically short by the war. Today they are remembered not only as airmen of the Royal Air Force, but as former cadets who once stood where we stand now. Their story remains an important part of the history of the squadron and serves as a lasting reminder of the courage, commitment and sacrifice shown by those who came before us.